Funny.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been the elephant in the room for the last 2 hours, Nancy and Chris. Toucan Sam, where would you rank Nancy among the list of female valets in the history of pro wrestling? She had the most evil yet beautiful eyes I've ever seen. Thanks.
I mean, you got to realize that when Nancy came into the business with me, there wasn't that many valets. And there had been valets in the 50s and early 60s. And, you know, the Sheik had a valet, and I kind of stole that from the Sheik. But nobody dressed like she did, as provocative as she did, you know what I mean? And I got away with it.
Was she comfortable with it from the get-go?
Yeah, yeah. We got away with it. And she was, yeah, I would rate her among, and she knew the business, you know what I mean? She learned the business. She was around a lot of smart people. Gary Hart, Superstar, Dusty, around a lot of smart people. So I thought she was in the top 5.
Okay. Rampage from TotalWrestling.net. What are your thoughts on Chris Benoit, both the performer and the man?
Okay, the performer was the greatest performer I've ever seen. Or one of the greatest performers I've ever seen. And for his size, he was the best performer. He overcame a real size difference. As a man, he must have been a complicated man that so complicated even his family didn't know, so I can't.
John Concanon from TotalWrestling.net. Do you remember the time that Benoit made somebody cry in the ring? I think it was that bitch, Steve Lombardi.
I'm sure he made a lot of people cry in the ring the way he chopped people. He was very, you know, very believable.
Box, how did you really feel about learning that Benoit was sliding up to his girl Nancy, and did you book Benoit to lose to him a lot because of it?
Did he book Benoit to lose to me?
Did you book Benoit to lose matches as a revenge thing?
He said, no, to me. I never beat Benoit except one time.
To you.
No, and the other thing, and Nancy and I were having problems at the time anyway. And I kind of knew what was going on. But I was all business with that thing with Benoit.
I remember you talked on the end of WCW disc where that was really the extending of the olive branch when
Right.
you went to him, and before they left, you know,
Right.
they did that mass exodus, and you wanted to show people publicly, hey, this is business, you know. So that's Dark Yautja again. The Benoit Sullivan angle produced some of the most incredible matches between yourself and Chris Benoit. Thank you for your hard work in the ring on the mic. Did the angle itself, not the real life outcome, go as planned all the way to the end?
No, we had a couple more things to do, but it switched, so it was going as far as it going.
Were you really trying to work
No.
the boys with the angle?
No, because at this time, you know, how can I rework the boys after the Pillman thing? You know, it's like you know, you can only go to a well so many times, and then they started. You know, I mean, I could have actually fought the devil if someone conjured him up, and they said that's bullshit. You know, it's Jay Leno in disguise.
Chris Benoit ended up quite bruised on several occasions after these matches. Was that your intention, the fabled wrestling receipt, or accident on part due to the sheer intensity of both of your work in the ring?
Both of us ended up bruised on a few occasions. I mean, I broke my neck in a match with them, and I broke fingers, and I mean, it was very, very intense. And especially the matches in Baltimore, we were falling downstairs in the arena, and I mean, he was taking some real heavy bumps. And he was giving me some bumps that I hadn't usually taken, you know, suplexes off the top rope.
And then highlights for you during the feud, favorite match or interview maybe. Personally, he liked the World War III angle where your group and the Horsemen clashed at ringside.
Yeah, my favorite spot would have been when I came back to Boston. I said, you know, the old Martin Luther King speech, home, home, home at last. Thank God I'm home at last. And Chris came out and we got into like a a punching match like two hockey players, like the Bruins and the Canadians, people pop. So that would be.
Wyo from Portugal again. Knowing the whole situation at the time with his wife, how real was it with the fights with Benoit in WCW, especially the Falls Count Anywhere match?
If the fight was real, we wouldn't have continued the match. You know what I mean? The thing was, Chris worked a lot like I did. I think we were snugged and close, and we tried to make it look real.
John Somerville, dear Mr. Sullivan, I'm a huge fan of yours since the days of Championship Wrestling in Florida. You're the greatest evil heel in professional wrestling. My question is, your infamous match with Chris Benoit was a work or shoot. Whose idea was it to go into the men's bathroom? Where did you come up with the idea of using the bathroom in the Great American Bash 1996? That match was the first true national exposure of hardcore extreme matches that fans loved in ECW or FMW in the late 90s. Sean Oliver's the king of the shoot interviews. The first intelligent question we've gotten all day. Go ahead, the bathroom.
Terry Funk. I stole it from Terry Funk. Terry Funk worked with Dusty in Tampa, and he came out with the toilet seat wrapped around his head.
The pediatric gynecologist has returned. Was it tough to work with Chris Benoit? Was he easy to put a match together with, or is he constantly paranoid that you were going to screw him?
No, he was easy to put a match together with. I mean, there was no paranoia until the end.
Dark Yacha, hindsight being 2020, do you see where things might have been different with the real life outcome Nancy leaves for Benoit if you did something different with the angle, or do you feel this would have happened no matter what you had changed?
I think things happen for a reason. There's nothing we changed. Nothing would have changed.
Stu Rogers from Birmingham in the UK. Hi, Stu Rogers here from Birmingham. Just wanted to ask Kevin, what did he really think when Benoit, Eddie Malenko, and Saturn left for WCW? And was he glad to see the back of Benoit because of their history? Well, we've addressed that before, but you can do it on this disc. Go ahead.
Absolutely not. How are you going to replace that talent? Absolutely not.
Let's go to this video from Bill Dozer again.
Kevin Sullivan, Vince McMahon purchased WCW and never brought you in. Was there any discussion to do so in any various roles? And also, since you weren't brought in, do you think that the Radicals, since they were already ingrained in the WWE machine, blocked that from taking place? I know Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, they walked out on WCW because you were put in charge. What's the deal, man? Did you have any ill will towards any of those gentlemen today? Have you seen them lately? Have you talked to them lately? What's the deal? Thanks, Blair.
I don't talk to those guys, and do I? Who knows what happened with them up there? I don't know. And I have too little time left in my life to worry what if they blocked me. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Well, the Benoit Nancy saga extends, of course, beyond the ring, and we got a ton of questions on it, ranging from how did you feel the day you got the call, thoughts on the tragedy, did you know anything that might have been wrong with Benoit in his life, do you hate him now, volatility in the relationship, and abuse, to the, I feel, I won't editorialize, the ridiculous accusation that maybe you were in some way involved. I don't know if people ask Anthony Hopkins if he's ever killed anyone because he played Hannibal Lecter, but I guess people buy it sometimes. There's so much to talk about, and it's such an emotional subject, so I'll just give you the forum to just say whatever you want on it.
The thing is, it's hard for me to talk about those people because I think the press did a horrible job. Everybody did a horrible job because they didn't take into the biggest consideration Benoit's family, his two other children, Nancy's family, the mother and father and sister. A daughter, a son was lost. On one side, a son's lost. On the other side, a daughter and a grandson's lost. A son and a grandson's lost. It isn't up to me to judge, and I think that this is one of those things that people keep on stirring it up, It doesn't affect me. But I have talked to Nancy's mother and sister a couple of times. It affects them. I mean, every day. I mean, the horror that they have to relive is terrible. And to keep on stirring up and stirring up, because in the wrestling business, there's all kinds of rumors, and you know that. I mean, the people just, you could say the color is, this color over here, this brown is green, and by the time it gets around, it's green with 3 heads and oozing blood and got 12,000 pimples on it, you know. So I just, for me to keep on, I mean, they were human beings, and they didn't deserve to die that way.
The worst tragedy ever to befall the business. Safe
The
to say.
worst tragedy, one of the worst tragedies, I mean, not just the fall in the business, but for everybody that I know, far-reaching in the business, there isn't many people that can say, oh, well, I know a worse tragedy. That was the most tragic thing I ever heard.
Does it affect you to this day, or have you been able to deal with it?
Well, it doesn't affect me. You know, there's days that you think, you know, this person isn't here anymore, or that person's not here, or what are their parents feeling, you know. Because I knew the parents so well, we were so close. I know the mother has to be crushed, the father has to be crushed, the sister has to be crushed, and on Benoit's side, his children have to be crushed, his other 2 kids. So I can't put myself in that situation, but it's the most horrible thing that happened in the business by far, and probably to me and most people in general. I mean, I don't think you could go over in your lifetime and say, yeah, I know somebody that was the worst thing.
No, I mean,